Good morning, Wayne. Looking forward to having you join us around 11:30 Eastern for your weekly Wayne's World right here on Undisputed. But right now it is time, as Wayne says, to skip the BS. Time for Undisputed. Time for Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson to go deep, as they once did as superstar receivers. Good morning, gentlemen.
What's happening, Skip?
Here we go. So let's compare notes on what happened last night in Kansas City. Encouraged or discouraged at this point?
I don't think it should be either. I think what they need to try to do is find a resolution to fix it. Because they're what, 5-1? So is there really an argument there at a 5-1 team? No matter how you got there, you're still 5-1. What I will say, though, and it's funny, Skip, because as I was sitting there and I was watching it last night, and obviously we've watched all 6 weeks of them playing, and it's like, what the heck is wrong with them? What does it look like to me? And so I started looking at it, diving into it.
That is the question.
A little bit more, right?
Yep.
And I said to myself, what's the common denominator in this situation right now? Okay, the quarterback is there.
He is.
The tight end is there.
Yeah.
But there's one person that's not there. The head coach is there, but there's one person that's not there. No matter what anybody says, whether he was calling plays, not calling plays, calling them sometime, maybe not calling them sometime.
That's interesting.
But there's an influence there, right? Skip and Michael, there's an influence. It's just an influence.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should run this, coach. Or what do you think about this, coach?
Yep.
And then when you look at that common denominator, I look at Matt Nagy on the sideline, calling plays or giving that influence, whatever you want to call it. And so I started to say, well, Eric Bieniemy is missing.
He is.
Okay? This team a year ago was pretty much one in every statistical category.
Yep.
When you look at it, 24 points a game. This year, they're 9th. Okay? Last year, they were number 1. Total yards, they were number 1 at 413. They're 7th right now. Okay, rushing, they were 20th. I mean, you know, so when you start to look at it, you start saying to yourself, where's the creativity? Yeah, they had the little pass to Kelce with the little fake pitch. Right. Okay, that's cool. But the creativity you mentioned, 1-5 in the red zone, that wasn't the case with Eric Bieniemy.
No.
Eric Bieniemy being a part of that staff, being a part of something, they were scoring down there. They had all sorts of little things going where they were getting into the end zone, and Patrick Mahomes was not turning the football over, although one of the interceptions was negated because of the holding on Sky Moore, but he still didn't look crisp this year so far. When last year you sat there, you said, okay, they're missing Tyreek Hill, but we see what they're doing offensively. They're going to matriculate down the field, and it's going to be different. So when I look at it, I say, man, they are missing Eric Bieniemy. I don't give a damn what nobody tell me. And don't tell me anything about, look at Washington's offense. Washington's offense is not terrible. He's doing what he can do with what they have. That's all I'm saying.
All right,
that's me.
Real quick before you go. To your point, Keyshawn, it was very difficult for me to gauge the impact Eric was having the previous years in Kansas City until you removed him from the equation. That's the only way, because it's obviously Andy Reid's offense. And a lot of people thought Andy Reid was quietly out of the side of his mouth actually calling the plays. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that point on the Eric Bieniemy point. So it's a good one. It's a good point.
And look, Michael, it's not that he was calling the play. It's an influence. Let's just use the influence part of it.
In a way you handle practice, and we heard how he handles practice, and he's up in those guys' face because he's paying attention to detail. And he's staying in their faces on detail. Last night, first of all, it started off right, and they were talking about, is she here? Is she here? It was cool the way they started the whole Thursday night football, right? Is she here? Is she here? And then here comes Mama Kelce. Of course I'm here. I'm always here. I thought that was cool. I thought that was beautiful, playing off the Taylor Swift thing. But watching that in the box prior to, and then watching on the field, my thoughts went to this. I was encouraged because as long as they got those two, they're always going to be all right. This dude got 9 targets and he caught 9 passes. It's amazing. These dudes are playing NBA in the NFL. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going down, turn around, bam. And I was like, this is amazing. This dude he's only on 1 leg and he still can't be stopped. I was sitting there, I was thinking about all the great tight ends I watched over the years, you know, that inspired me to go to the post. You guys remember Mark Bavaro in New York carrying everybody down the field, the Mike Dickers, and I was saying, I've seen all these great tight ends, like Kellen Winslow, but I might be seeing Gronk. I may be seeing the greatest to ever play the position in Travis Kelce. That's why no matter what, you got that quarterback, you got that tight end, you got an opportunity all day in today's National Football League. And Patrick Mahomes, dude, this must be the most frustrating quarterback you could ever play because you have everything locked up and somehow, some way, he finds 8 yards. He's not going to beat you with 38 yards. He only needs 8, and he goes and squeezes right in front of the first down. Like, he just want to make you more and more frustrated. Long as you got that wizard back there playing quarterback, and you got that dude, 8'7", playing tight end with his girl in the box, you gonna be okay. You're going to be fine.
Stop calling that young lady, that man's girl. We don't know that.
Whatever's going on in that box.
Right. It was like last night, Al Michaels, he struggled with saying girlfriend, and then Skip did. He got there. He finally got there.
All right, my biggest takeaway from last night when the game ended was these Chiefs, the defending champs, are not even in San Francisco's universe right now. Maybe they'll find it again, but they're not right now. San Francisco is far and away the most complete and best team playing by far the best football right now. Okay, now back to Travis Kelce. I appreciate everything my man Michael Irvin just said because in all my years of trying to break down and study and get inside of your game, I have never, ever seen anything like Travis Kelce. And if you saw Patrick on the set with the Amazon Prime people, including our man Richard Sherman, shout out to him, he was great last night. Patrick made the point that the hook and lateral play that Keyshawn referred to,
they do it in practice.
But he said it was spontaneous last night. It was not a call play. It was not a call play. It was not an Andy Reid special. It was a Travis Kelce special.
Travis does in practice.
He just he doesn't practice, but he did it in the game. And you can't tell me that's not some Taylor Swift effect going on. Like, he's going to show off for his girl. I got it. And that's great. I got it. Okay. Now,
we don't know if that's
in
his
the
girl.
NFL, it's different. In the NFL, can you imagine? I can't.
Hey, and this is the other thing that Patrick said last night, that Travis freelances almost every route. We sit up here on this desk day after day. You guys are talking about precise route running. You have to go where you're supposed to go. Troy Aikman, listen, he trusted this man to be exactly where he was supposed to be, exactly when he was supposed to be. Patrick said Travis, especially when they're playing zone, he just freelances and sits down wherever he wants to. And he said it hurts our deeper routes because especially on the deep outs, he won't finish it at all. He just sits down. Well, this is lunacy because other quarterbacks would be driven out of their minds and maybe out of the league by a receiver breaking off routes indiscriminately just whenever he feels like it. Oh, I feel like I got a soft spot here. And yet last night, it was the worst first time where I saw Travis Kelce, it looked like he was uncovered there was only one tight window throw the whole night when Surtain took him across on a deeper crossing route. And he just gets open like unlike any tight end I have ever seen. How do you do this? Have you guys ever heard of a route runner who just says, I'll just backyard every play. I'll just go where I feel like it.
Not to this extent, but when you mention zone, right? The zone is so huge. Typically, you're taught to go to one area in the zone. What Travis Kelce is doing is he's moving to different areas where he feels comfortable at. Patrick has the awareness to know he's going to be in a certain area within that zone. It's not like he's running to one zone and then he's vacating all of a sudden and running all the way to the corner. He's staying within the structure of the zone defense.
Okay,
so,
but Keyshawn, you better stay with him. You better.
And that's why
it hurts the defense more so because Patrick knows what's going on.
Right.
Patrick knows he's somewhere in this vicinity.
But what I thought was interesting in that whole dissertation is when he says he doesn't finish routes now, and it affects the deep routes. Now, Travis Kelce, what he means by that, so they may have a square in a deep route, and he has to affect the safety. But Travis is not going in to affect the safety. He's doing his own thing, you know. And I wonder, I started thinking
Give it to him right now, though.
Right, how much of that has changed since Tyreek Hill has left, and he don't trust those deep balls anymore, or those guys. He's just saying, I'm going to go and get open. But we watch kind of Jason Witten and Tony Romo do some of it, but not at this level. Not at this level.
By the way,
not like this.
Take a quick listen to what Patrick did say on the desk with the guys off a Richard question last night.
Yeah, he's smart enough in his awareness. But if you look at Skip and Michael, if you look at the hook and lateral, if you see him, you can tell he's been practicing this. This is he looks like an option quarterback. He was comfortable doing it. There wasn't any of this. Here, you take it. It was nice and smooth, and he flipped it.
Yep.
Looked like he played back in the 80s at Oklahoma.
And you said it like an option quarterback because he sees the game
look at the
like
smoothness.
that.
Bam. He stepped into it and came back and flipped it.
Right, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. He's been practicing. Look at the step upfield, flip.
and he sees the game like a quarterback. So when you start mentioning that quarterback stuff, man, it really is a beautiful thing.
Okay, so real quick, let's go through his 9 completions just to show you how open he was getting himself. I've never seen a tight end get this open this consistently. Here we go. Okay, there's nobody around. Oh, that was the
lateral.
Yeah, and the only way that worked is because he was so uncovered to start with. Okay.
Middle of the field.
We're just sitting down.
Anybody home?
I don't know
Anybody
what they
home?
were doing right there.
Anybody home? No.
But they were in
He's
a lot
87.
of zone last time.
Shouldn't you cover 87?
And he was just eating it up.
All right, just eating
All
it
that
up.
zone.
Yeah. Anybody?
All that.
Oh, okay.
Just
We'll
eating
take
that zone up.
And this one right here, no, that's not the one.
There's the one on the crosser.
That one right here,
This
That's just I'm bigger than you.
Sertan is all
I'm bigger
over
than
him. I
you.
know he just
I'm bigger than you. Nothing you can do.
That was a
I
great
don't know
throw.
why
by
we
Mahomes.
played that all night.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just a little quick. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to play Sertan over them all night.
Man, we messed up.
Somebody with them all night.
We messed up. We're supposed to show his girlfriend, as you say, Skip, 9 times the match each catch.
That's what they do. That's what they do. But I push back on this, Skip. That's the only thing that because of that combination right there, those two, his ability, Patrick Mahomes' ability just to buy a little time, and Travis Kelce's ability to find that open area, this is why I just say, even though they're not playing their best, they will still be a tough out for San Francisco.
No,
I got San Fran right now the best, too.
They're going to be a tough
Patrick
out,
Mahomes
but San Francisco has more stuff than they do.
Yeah.
They just got more stuff on both sides of the ball. That's why I'm with Skip on this. That San Francisco right now.
Yeah, I'm with him. But Kansas City got Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
I get it.
Just a quick thought on Taylor Swift. Isn't she laying it on just a little thick up there? Isn't she posing for it? Doesn't she know she's on camera? I mean, have you ever seen anybody celebrate that hard off just some routine catch in the second quarter? I don't know.
Them Swifties,
Okay, that's fine.
You're running around.
I don't want to.
Them dangerous
I don't
waters
want to.
now.
I'm trying to get the South Bend, man. I don't want them attacking me.
I got it. All right, let's switch it over to the Broncos, who are the flip side 1-5 of the Chiefs. Are we going to blame Russ more? Are we starting to blame Sean Payton some for what's happening? Because Russ just looked old to me. He had a long, hard night and 95 total yards passed and had a little burst at the end, a couple of runs where he got away, had 31 total rush yards. What did we see from Russ? Go, Mike.
Well, first of all, I started the game. I'm watching this game. I was looking to see how Denver would come out and fight in this game. And I thought Denver came out and fought. They were fighting. So, because that's the one thing you're looking at, okay, because we're talking about Coach Payton, we're talking about Russ, let's see if people are quitting. And they were not quitting. No. But the match is not right now a match made in heaven. And I really don't know how they get that back on track. You know what I mean, with Russell. Russell's not, I never thought Russell was a great timing player. You could say, well, Drew Brees was a smaller guy, and he played in that same system. But Drew Brees had a great ability with anticipatory throws and dropping that ball. He knew the offense, and he would throw the ball before the receiver got there. Russ doesn't have that ability. Russ sees it, buys time, and try to make it work, and it's just not working. You said that he looks old. I don't know where they go from here, though, because they're locked in with all the money they spent on Russell Wilson, and of course, they're locked in with Sean Payton. I thought it was interesting that Sean Payton actually mentioned we just couldn't throw the ball. It was almost, I felt like, we just, it's like putting Russell on notice here. And that's how I took what Sean Payton said.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know where to start because it's a mess. That's why I'll start there. Here's what I would say when you say, Skip, right? Is it Russell or do we start looking at Sean?
Yep.
We saw Russell. We know what that is from a year ago to so far this year through 5-6 weeks. Now we start to focus in on Sean, okay? And for all you Dallas Cowboy individuals, Michael and Skip, you wanted Sean Payton prior to Mike McCarthy. And even to a point where Sean was available, you might have wanted to get rid of Mike McCarthy. It's interesting, though, that we all, and Sean's one of my good friends, like really good friends. I know him very well. At the end, him and Mike McCarthy, their records in the league, identical. Identical. One is at 61.4, one is at 61.9.
Winning percentage?
Yeah, winning percentage. Okay, they've been in the playoffs. They've had 11-win seasons and 12-win seasons, and each one has won a Super Bowl. Each one has coached a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
So when you start to think about it, with Sean inherited basically 2 NFL caliber ready quarterbacks, right? He brought in Drew Brees with a little bit of an injury from the Chargers, but Drew Brees had played in the National Football League, who understood the National Football League. He also has inherited Russell Wilson, and now he's trying to fix something that's completely broken. Sean has never had to fix anything that was broken. He has never had to fix a quarterback that was broken. So now in his system...
But he fixed the city.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the player, not the city. I'm talking about the player, the quarterback. Now he's trying to fix Russell Wilson, who is broken, to get him to understand Russell Wilson throws an interception in the game. The hot route is in the flat. Sean is telling him.
Yeah, he was hot.
Throw the damn hot route.
He was hot.
He can't operate with a guy that's not following instructions and paying attention. So you say, okay, what do? I can tell you what he's going to do. He's going to say bye-bye to Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Okay, that's what he's going to say. They're going to figure out how to say bye-bye to him. Because one thing Sean's not going to do, allow him to take him completely down. He'd rather go down himself than allow Russell Wilson to go down based on a contract. I've seen other coaches that I've been around, that Sean's been around, that said, no, I can't win with that guy. It's just, you get big money and you say, no. Back in the day, Bill Parcells, we had Neil O'Donnell. Neil O'Donnell lost to you in the Super Bowl. They picked him up 2 years into a big money deal. Bill comes in. Bill says, I got to get rid of this dude. Bring me. I'll play with Glenn Foley, Ray Lucas, Vinny Testaverde, Rick Meyer, anybody but this dude, because he's not going to get me fired. And Sean thinks the same way. He thinks the same way. But people are, Skip, going to start talking.
Yep.
If he doesn't start winning very soon.
Okay, but you can't tell me that early on, when Sean was thinking about taking this job, and obviously he was going to get paid a whole lot of money to go to Denver and work for that family. But you can't tell me he didn't take a look at Russ's tape last year and said, I can fix this.
Absolutely.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Because that's what Sean...
But that's what everybody does, right? I can work with that guy until you actually start working with him. And you're like, yeah, that's not for me.
But remember, Sean even blamed it all on Nathaniel Hackett. And I thought he broke the sort of the
coaching
unwritten
code
rules
or whatever.
But he blamed it all. He said it might have been the worst coaching job in the history of the league. Got it. And it well might have been the worst coaching job. But he wanted to take the onus and the heat and the spotlight off Russ and say, no, it was his fault and we're starting fresh. Well, Russ has had a few moments this year. He's had a couple of games where I thought, okay, but last night would be the night on that stage, on the Monday night stage, where Sean would wake up this morning and say, I just can't, even I can't figure this one out. Go, Mike.
Yeah, but listen, and one thing you said, Key, about Sean turned that situation in New Orleans around. That was a big job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a big job coming in after Katrina and then delivering a Super Bowl to that city. So he fixed the football team while he was fixing the city, building the city back at the same time, and the pinnacle was the Super Bowl. So I give him credit for building a championship out of literally rubble, because that's what New Orleans was at the time, literally out of rubble. So you got to give him credit for that. But this is going to be a different situation. You know, I thought his quarterback then played towards what he does. I remember Sean. And it was so funny because one time he played the Dallas Cowboys as New Orleans Saints. You remember that, Skip, where he used the fullback.
He did.
He used the fullback in the flat to beat Parcells, and he says, I remember how many times Parcells said in the meeting, don't worry about the fullback, he'll never beat you. And he turned around and beat Bill with the fullback. Yeah. He's a brilliant coach. Yeah. You're absolutely right. I wanted him in Dallas. I don't want to hear it. I wanted him in Dallas, and still will take him in Dallas. Still will take him. He's a brilliant coach. This match, it just doesn't seem like it's a good match. Because Sean wants you playing on time, and that's not Russell's gift.
But you know how this industry works. Skip mentioned it. Okay, the Nathaniel Hackett situation, they're not winning. They gave him the keys to the car. So all of a sudden, you're supposed to be a quarterback guru, and the quarterback looked worse than he did a year ago last night. People look at that. What have you done for me lately in these situations?
I got it. Yet I look back at New Orleans. He won with Teddy Bridgewater, had a long stretch. Right. He did some good things with Taysom Hill, so I thought surely with Russ, no.
It's about playing on time, and that seems to be Russ's toughest task.
Well, they're gonna have to hit you talk about the Cowboys hit the detonator. I believe if Denver wants a fighting chance in the next couple of years, they're going to have to figure out how to hit the detonator and get him exactly what he needs at that position. And right now, he likes Russ. He likes him. Yeah. But not as a quarterback.
There you go. All right, we do have to talk a little Cowboys today because there's a very interesting piece in The Ringer that breaks down and says that Mike McCarthy is far more to blame than Dak Prescott. We debate next. No mercy, no mercy, no mercy. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.